that's the closest thing I can see on the Democratic side, right? Where people are like, you got no excuses and you got to do it. And we're not going to buy excuses. But this dynamic on the Republican side, like, and I had forgotten about the platform and the platform is performative in many respects. And, nobody takes it too seriously, but it does provide at least, maybe not a terribly accurate rudder, but it's a rudder. They have no rudder. And I wonder, how easy is it? Because this is a feedback loop, right? If there are no constituency out there that's really interested in the Republicans engaging in government, they don't have the ability to build these narratives back up. The deficit matters, whatever, whatever the sort of, really lies and just sort of myths that they were creating to justify their cuts and taxes and supply side or whatnot. If there's no market for that with their own constituency, people are just they're going to atrophy. They're not going to know how to deploy this stuff. The media is going to get out of like and I think to a certain extent, we see a little bit of that now of like responding to those sort of dog whistles about, whatever fiscal responsibility. I mean, where do they go? If this goes on for like 3, 6, 9, 12 months more, like where do they go? Like, where do they go from this?
Well, I don't know. It seems to me like they just go farther down the rabbit hole. That's, and of course, we've discussed many times in various venues about the dangers of that rabbit hole and where that's leading us culturally and in terms of the dangers of an extreme far right and, what they could potentially be doing. But in terms of actual governance, I think they become, atrophy is a good word, because I think that's exactly what happens. They just shrink into their hermetically sealed bubble, and they sort of are kind of flailing about in there. I mean, even Mitch McConnell, who, he desperately wants to get his majority back. And I mean, that's all he cares about. There's nothing more in life to him than that. And they don't know what to do. They even ones who are aware of this, and there's a handful in the House and a handful in the Senate who understand the dangers here and get that their only hope is to try and extricate their voters from that bubble and get them back into the mainstream. They can't do it. They have no power. They have abdicated their agenda to the right-wing media. And the right-wing media is out there doing whatever they need to do to maintain their audience. And they've addicted their audience to this kind of outrage, grievance, mockery, and bizarre conspiracy theories over the past 4 years, and Donald Trump, frankly. And they don't know how to get out of it either. I mean, they're all in this maelstrom now of just, bizarre, it's beyond dog whistles. It's not even dog whistles. It's just blatant, white nationalism, racism, conspiracies, and fealty to Donald Trump. So it's a very weird thing. And, it's hard to imagine that we can have a healthy democracy with that many people involved in something like that. On the other hand, to me, what we see, and this is what I put in my piece, we're going to see now what the American people really want. Do they want material? Do they want a government that materially delivers to them? We're in an emergency on a number of different levels. Or do they want this sideshow, this circus that we've been living through for the last 4 years, which is essentially what it is. Donald Trump did nothing but perform the entire time, and we all sat there kind of trapped by his sideshow. So is that what people want, or will they respond to having material benefits delivered to them? And of course, it's going to take the Democrats, and they better be
to
good
actually
at it.
deliver those material benefits to pull out
Not only
this
do they have
experiment.
to deliver it, they've got to make sure people know that it was delivered to them and who delivered it to them and who didn't. So, that's a big thing, but we'll see. I mean, that's what's happening.
Big Joe Biden signature on the checks this time.
All right. Well, Heather, always a pleasure. I think the real story that we're going to be talking about in the future is going to be two things. A lot of Republican retirements over the next 3 to 6 months of lawmakers, and a lot of action in the states, because I think the Republicans are already trying to suppress the vote there, and I think that's going to be one of their sort of rear guard moves. Heather Parton Digby, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Nice seeing you.
Quick break. We'll be right back. So Emma, we're heading into sort of some uncharted territory, and it's going to be a good opportunity for us to keep an eye on Democrats and have it very explicit what they're doing. And like Heather said, there's a great opportunity for them to do a grand experiment with the American public. You can deliver stuff and see it, and you got to execute it properly, but see how it resonates with people.
Well, Democrats are actually going to have to market themselves, Sam. That is a tall task for them and has been for a while, and market themselves on their economic populism. That will be key. And
market and also have the product that they're going to market. All right. Well, that's it for us today. Don't forget, if you missed any part of this program, you can watch us on the Choice channel on the Peacock app. Check it out, 5 p.m., 10 p.m. Also, Mehdi Hassan had a great clip about India, and you should check that out. It's all over social media. Enjoy that one. All right, we will be back on Monday. And
just kidding, we're here now.
We do that every day. We do that head fake where people are like, oh, I guess the show is up. That's like, it's like if it used to be back in the day, you would reach for your television and you turn off the knob, change the channel. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You remember those days of knobs?
I was, in my 20s, probably around the time where I was your age. I was sitting in a chair in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I had I guess you could call it a studio apartment. It was sort of a little bit less than that. Did not include its own bathroom, but that's a different story. We can talk about that another time.
It was a hallway bathroom deal?
There was a shared, there are shared facilities. And I had a TV with a knob, and there was no remote on this TV. And so I had fashioned one with a stick and 2 pieces of plywood and some duct tape, and that was quite efficient for me at the time. There was only 4 channels, so you didn't really have that much to go for anyways. There was only so much you could choose at that point.
So a stick and a piece of so you didn't have to go to the TV every time to turn the dial.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit of luxury.
Right.
Speaking of luxury, what a treat it is to have our next guest join us. He is going to call in. Do we have him? Do we have him call in? Is he there yet?
I'm here.
There he is. Oh,
hang on. I'm listening. What do I hear? Hang on. Let me turn off.
We hear you. You sound great.
I'm hearing there's a delay. Hang on for 1 second.
Great.
The boomer has to do something.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A picture of David Feldman. He is calling into the show.
I'm calling in. Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine the whole time.
I'm here now.
Great. Well, say hello to Emma, David.
Hello, Emma.
Hello, David. I love seeing that photo of you mid speak, I guess.
I should just say nobody else can see the photo.
Oh,
so that's
nobody else can see that? That's a real
nobody
shame.
can see the photo.
We should try and put that photo up.
gorgeous.
David, I have to say, when I can't see you, you sound very healthy.
Thank you. You couldn't tell that I'm hooked up to dialysis.
No,
Nothing's wrong with me. I just like to get my kidneys cleared out once a week because I have a Cadillac healthcare plan and I'm using it.
A lot of people have made
I've seen
comments.
that on Real Housewives. They do that for beauty treatments. Just
They do?
No.
Oh.
You know what I do with Huma Abedin is I fillet a baby's face. And I don't want to, I shouldn't, I'm speaking to it. All I can say is the adrenaline that the baby emits when he or she, preferably he, sees me wearing preferably his face. If you can isolate that adrenaline, you're good in the sack for like Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but
I feel like you have.
it's just great for you.
I feel like you
It's
already
good.
have gotten into it. Probably a little
Right.
more than you probably.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I shouldn't. I spoke too much.
it's the next recreational drug is baby adrenaline.
I
Post
didn't-
grilling.
You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I
I don't. I hate the implication. Quite
No,
frankly,
I'm saying
Emma.
I'm saying that I have experienced this before, and that's the next frontier for recreational drug use.
You know, I shared with you, Emma, that Huma Abedin and I like to fillet a baby's face and wear it, and to get a kind of adrenaline from the baby. And your tone of voice, you're implying that something's sick about that. You're being judgmental, and I didn't come on the show to be judged.
Now, David, as you know, you're a satirist and a comedian, and but also the host of a podcast show called The David Feldman Show. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
No, I'm not.
And my understanding is that is on radio. Is that correct?
KPFK in Los Angeles. But more importantly, I'm a lefty. And you know that.
I do know that. Yeah.
Way back. Before Emma was even born, Emma, I was a lefty. You don't remember the Iranian hostage crisis, do you?
I was born in '94.
Okay. See, I am a lefty from what I said keep them. That's how left I am.
He was very pro. Really, you were just really upset that that it kept ABC from rolling out its late night competition show.
Yeah.
To the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
That's a joke. That's a joke for like what? Like 4 people, would you say?
I don't know, but you remember Miracle on Ice, 1980 Winter Olympics?
Of
Lake
course.
Placid?
Eruzione.
I've seen the movie about it.
Yeah. Well, when they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, I couldn't get out of bed for 3 weeks. That's how much of a lefty I am. I was rooting for the Soviets.
You were so upset. There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, I seem to remember stories of how you protested that win, actually, when people were going out and celebrating. But, David, let me ask you this, because you are a lefty from way back.
Way back.
I think this is the first time that we've spoken since Joe Biden has become president, that Donald Trump is no longer president. I'm curious, how has it impacted your mood, your sense of your worldview?
Not a fan of Joe Biden at all. I'm a Bernie bro. I'm a Bernie bro.
You're a Bernie bro. That's correct. Okay.
Back in 2016.
Toxic, but
I'm what?
you're toxic, obviously. So.
Well, I'm a diehard Bernie bro, and I won't compromise. In 2016, before Emma was born, when they were reversing the juice on Bernie and everyone was reducing the line movement on Hillary, I increased my exposure. And instead of going into the Pennsylvania primary with a backdoor cover, which would have lowered the puck line had John Edwards pulled an upset, guess what? I put it all on Bernie. All of it. I lost $200. But you know what? I would have made that wager again.
Hold the line.
Okay, well that's great. I mean, you bet money on Bernie in 2016, but okay. So
I still would have, if knowing what I know now, knowing that Bernie was going to lose Pennsylvania in 2016, knowing that Hillary was going to axe the spread, I still would have put a dime on Bernie to win.
A dime.
I would have taken the over/under. That's a no-brainer, knowing what I know now, but there's no such thing as a time machine.
How do you calculate an over-under for a presidential primary?
Very complicated.
Okay.
You went down the wrong path with Emma on that one, my friend.
The point is, Emma, I always went with Bernie, and I've paid a price for that.
You've certainly paid a price, without a doubt. I mean, literally,
I no longer live in my mom's basement. She threw me out. I can't pay the rent, but I still believe in Bernie.
And you're a misogynist, obviously.
Why am I a misogynist?
Because you're a Bernie bro. That's the only thing that, they're one and the same.
No, I am a misogynist. I asked you why, and you got it wrong.
Okay.
But you still haven't figured out why I'm a misogynist. Guess again.